Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hoth, Sweet Hoth on KHDX 93.1. I am your host, Sam Gibson. So happy to be back with you. This week is a very special occasion. We've got the band behind one of my favorite records of 2020, uh, the Goalie's Anxiety at the Penalty Kick. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hi, I'm Becky.
I am
I'm
Anna.
I'm Mike.
First of all, thank you all so much for being here and giving us this opportunity to hear from y'all. How's your day going? First question.
Oh boy. I've been on Zoom pretty much all day, sitting here in this chair doing like work meetings and the like. This is more fun than the work meetings, but yeah. Anna, how are you?
I'm good. I'm also on the computer screen all day. Usually I'd be on Zoom, but I'm student teaching, and the school that I teach at uses Google Meets, so
Google Meet.
yeah, a little bit of a switch up. But yeah, it's good. I saw third graders and sixth graders today, and did
Aw.
work for the rest of it. Yeah.
That's good.
I also just had work all day. It was fine. It was a neutral day at work, also at a computer. Uh, we also use Microsoft Teams for our video
Oh,
chat,
yeah.
Oh
which is a
boy.
little different. I know.
Me too.
Yeah.
Becky, are you in person or are you remote?
It's remote, yeah,
Okay.
for the time being, which
Yeah.
is really nice. Yeah.
Mike, how's your day going?
It's fine. I'm a lawyer. I work at a courthouse, and all of our operations are remote. So, just been dealing with a lot of Zoom hearings today, yesterday, the day before that, the day before that.
Did you see the video of the lawyer on
Oh
Zoom?
yeah,
Yeah,
that
he
was
gave himself a cat face.
that was
Did
an
he
all
see
timer.
it? Boy, he was in the call.
I was the cat guy. Just kidding. I wasn't the cat guy because I'm not a cat.
Not a cat.
But yeah, that was a really good video. I was like, man, I wish something that entertaining. Actually, I don't wish something that entertaining would happen to me. Enter like entertaining things happening in courtrooms usually means every lawyer in the room is having a panic attack. So
Right. It's the same for me whenever I see like something about some, rogue college professor on Twitter or something like that. It's like, oh, like the worst thing that you can be is Twitter's main character of the day. You gotta
True.
just like, you gotta stay out of that.
I can't think of a Twitter main character who has been good. Maybe Daft Punk a few days ago.
It's been a while, hasn't it, since there was a
Yeah.
good one.
I
The worst.
recently deleted Twitter. It's gone.
Good idea. It's
True.
just the worst thing. I want to start off with asking y'all some questions about the record itself. The strings on it are so evocative and flowing, and I love them. It very much reminds me of Carissa's Weird. Um, I have the list right beside me. Anna, you play the strings.
Yes, I play the violin. And then the rest of it, that like me doubling myself is just the studio, pretty much. But yeah, I write the string parts with some help. Yeah.
How do y'all figure in the way y'all use strings to the rest of your approach to songwriting and texture?
Well, pretty much it's a lot. Well, I mean, my personal process was just like I heard the music slash got the music, and then like pretty much improvised improvised a bunch of different stuff over it a few times, and then eventually that led to coming up with something concrete. So that's my approach to it.
When writing guitars for these songs, it's like it's really nice as like the when I'm doing like the first pass at a song to know that like space that I leave behind is gonna be filled in by something interesting, something that'll like you know, naturally fill up the gaps in what's, I mean, like the guitar parts on these songs are very, very simple, and they're kind of that way by design, so that, you know, more instruments could be layered on top to create something that, like, I don't know, that's a little more filled up than just guitars and stuff. So we kind of have in our head, like, or at least I kind of have in my head, oh, there's going to be a violin part in here, so on the demo I'll just play the same guitar part over and over again for like 2 minutes straight, and like, oh, this is where it'll go, and then Anna comes up with something to fill in that space.
Is there a principal songwriter, or do you all kind of put in your own?
Ben has written the songs mostly, pretty much all of them, and then we sort of like all write our own parts into the song. So I think Ben has like been bringing the like seeds in, and then we'll like workshop it as a group, which has been really fun. I definitely, I've written like a few parts, and I'm hoping to bring more songs into the second album, but it's pretty collaborative. Once the seed's there, we kind of like, you know.
Mike, do you have anything to add?
I don't know. I just kind of follow Ben and Becky's lead on most of the songs, and usually, like, I mean, obviously we're not really practicing now, but I've definitely like been there a few times at like practice where like Sean or Ben is like, oh, do this, and I just kind of do it.
Yeah, there are like, there's one bass part that the bass line in Jars Filled with Rain was Sean's original guitar part. He was playing like a cool lead in that song, and then eventually decided it would sound better on a bass. Now, we didn't have a bassist yet, so he just kept playing it on guitar at practice and saying, like, you know, imagine that this will be a bass at some point in the future. And then sure enough, it did sound like a cool bass line once it was eventually once Mike eventually joined the band, and it was worked into the song like that. The other one, I wrote the bass line in Olive Coat as like originally a second guitar part. You know, anytime I'm practicing, it's just with my acoustic guitar here. And again, it seemed like it was more, you know, more of a bass part than a guitar part. Though, especially some of the songs on the record that were like written slightly later in the writing process. Because Mike, when was it that you started like practicing with the band?
I was still in school back then, so maybe 2018, 2019.
Yeah, because we had like the first 6 or 7 songs of what would become the record pretty down pat at that point. So with those, it was kind of like Mike learning a song. But then with some of the songs that were written later, I think that you can, I don't know if you can tell. I feel like maybe you can tell some of the songs that were written later in the process, just because they have a bit more, I don't know, they're a bit weirder in a way. The one I'm thinking of in particular is the bass line to God's Country, which is probably Mike's favorite.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one.
It's good. It's really good.
It's really good, yeah.
You said you were from Philly. Are all of you from Philadelphia?
Well, all of us are in Philadelphia. We're kind of from, I mean, we're from a lot of different places. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska originally. I've been in Philly for like 6 years now, I think. I don't know. I guess we can just go around. Anna, it's hard. It's hard on Zoom to be like, oh, I'm gonna call. I feel like I'm calling on you.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh, so not as far, but
Go Steelers.
yeah, I guess so. But yeah, that's where I'm from. I was actually, my parents lived in Philadelphia for a while, and I was born here, but then we moved whenever I was a baby, so like it doesn't really count. But yeah, I was raised in Pittsburgh, so that's.
It's really important to me from Jersey, which I think is the best state in the entire world.
On what metric?
Being from Jersey metric.
True, yeah.
I
most of the people who are from Jersey are statistically from New Jersey.
True, the best there. But I grew up in South Jersey, and I like my parents' house is literally right over one of the bridges to get into Philadelphia. So I've sort of just been around here my whole life, except for like 2 years when I lived in Tucson. But that was it. Becky.
I'm from Philly. I'm the one that's from Philly.
Nice.
I think Alyssa is from upstate PA. I think.
Yeah, she's from from what I remember, she's from a very small town, sort of near-ish here, but not like in the Philly metro or whatever. And then Sean's a New Yorker, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Alyssa's from around like Harrisburg or Mechanicsburg. One of my friends actually grew up in the same place, and he said that it's called Dillsburg. On New Year's they drop a pickle like instead of dropping a ball.
That's good.
That's
really
so
good.
charming.
Love it.
That's cool.
How big is the pickle that they drop? It's probably pretty small.
I'm surprised that Philadelphia doesn't drop anything.
Me too.
What would Philadelphia drop if you could pick?
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, remember when we won the Super Bowl and people were climbing up the posts and then like falling down? That's kind of
Yeah.
like dropping.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's like dropping a person off.
Dropping
of
a person down a greased pole, I think, would be the tradition. It only happened once, but it was really
It was really good.
memorable. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Must
that
be-
sounds about right. Either that or we would all get to ring the bell.
All
Ring
take turns.
the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
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 I live in Arkansas, so it must be nice living in a city that wins a Super Bowl. I don't even watch football, but that just must be nice.
People went crazy. It was
Yeah.
it was insane.
I got off of work the next day. I think everyone got off work the next day.
Oh wow.
It was
Not
like a
even
holiday.
because it wasn't like
I
a
lived right on Broad Street.
it wasn't that it was like a city holiday or anything. It's that so many people were congesting the streets and especially the transit lines that it was just
Yeah.
impossible to get anywhere. So everything closed down by default. Like,
Yeah.
it was great.
I had so I was like a first year law student at the time, and this is kind of a funny story. My property professor was teaching us this like legal concept called future interest, and he was like, okay, so next class we're going to finish up future interest, and I would like to talk about your future interest in attending the Eagles Super Bowl parade. And then he gave us off for it, which was really cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Did you
awesome.
go?
School was canceled for me.
I didn't go. Did you go, Mike?
Yeah, I was drinking heavily that day, so I don't really know where I was, but I was there.
Remember where I was. The city all looks the same after a while. It's just like,
I feel like I was in South, but no one can be sure.
That seems like one of the better places to be if you're trying to actually experience it. Out in West, it's like, I mean, Mike said this is a joke earlier, but I didn't really see much of a parade because we're across the river. We're kind of a different part of the city.
I was at City Hall during the parade. It was actually it was
On top of a very long greased pole.
I wasn't on any polls, no, personally. But no, yeah, it was wild. I lived right on Broad Street because of school, and I saw a couch lit on fire like after the game before. So there was the game before the Super Bowl, like the game that got the Eagles into the Super Bowl, and I could see Broad Street from my window pretty much, and it was crazy. So a bunch of people went out, and I did a short walk, but on that short walk, I saw people climbing poles and lighting a couch on fire, and then I went to the Eagles parade whenever it happened, and it was also crazy, but it was during the day instead of at night, so it was a different kind. But yeah.
probably did
So
last a while.
you've got a lot of transplants to Philly. What were the beginnings of Goalie LLC?
So the beginnings of Goalie LLC was when we sat down with the label to start negotiating our first contract. No, I mean the band. I guess what was it, 2018 that we started playing together?
That's right. Time has escaped me. I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
idea.
It was like summer of 2018. I started getting some song ideas together, and that fall started practicing them with Becky, with whom I worked at a bookstore, I think at the time, or maybe I had just quit.
I think you had just quit
I think I
before
had
we
just
started.
quit. And then I knew Sean through a friend. Alyssa, funnily enough, worked at the coffee shop down the block from the bookstore that Becky and I worked at. So we kind of knew her through there. And that was guitar, keyboard, drums, and Sean was a second guitar. And we that fall kind of turned the song ideas into like actual songs and started, practicing them weekly or so. Played our first show January of 2019, and then kind of the band leveled up in between that January and the subsequent summer, when we went into the studio for the record. So it would have been that winter that Mike and Anna joined the band.
Was this a pandemic record, or did y'all finish it before the end of February?
Oh, this was we finished it. This was a record that got recorded in the summer of 2019.
I think that was August.
Yeah, it was like August, because we were trying to get it done before. I work in academia. I teach English and composition, creative writing, that kind of stuff. And so we were trying to get the record done before I had to like start working hard again. So before the fall semester, and I think I think Sean had to do a couple like a pickup day or something after that to add on some noises wanted in the record. I don't remember exactly what it was. But it was through being recorded at by September of 2019. Then I guess I related the release date, which, God, when was it that we were just gonna put it on
like
Bandcamp because
April.
we were like,
Yeah, that was in April. I remember
Yeah.
this. 'Cause,
Yeah.
that was my
It was
last
a-
semester of classes, and I was always in the Goalie chat.
it was a really like, I don't know, fortuitous circumstance, I guess I could say, because the record was done being mixed, done being mastered in the winter. It like I got it back from mastering probably February or March of 2020, which is, as you're all aware, I'm sure, right when everything shut down and it became impossible to do or make anything or anything like that. So at that point, it was like we were torn between, on the one hand, trying to wait it out and find someone to release the album, or to just kind of assume that was going to be a dead end and to just put it out and share it with people and like not worry too much about it, because like obviously the idea of going to labels and being like, hey, will you commit X and Y resources to us at this point when like everything just shut down, it looks like there's going to be no shows for a while. It didn't seem like it was going to work out all that well, let's just say. But I was fortunate to be that my friend Keith from Count Your Lucky Stars was kind of restarting or re-upping the label just at the time when we were finishing up the record, and I sent it to him and he liked it a lot. So yeah, we kind of squared away how it was going to come out in April or May of 2020. And then the reason why it became an October release was just because like production plants weren't in operation. There were no one's schedule what made any sense. We just kind of waited through the summer, and then eventually it came out like a year or so after we finished recording it. Y'all can correct me if I misstated or remembered anything there.
No, that sounds about right.
It came out on October 30th. Was that? Are y'all Halloween fiends?
I
I think-
am.
I think Keith gave us a few options, and October 30th is just such a great date. I love Halloween. I think the record felt like it, fit the autumny, Halloweeny kind of feel. So I was really excited about that. We had like plans to do like themed Halloween. We were gonna do like a virtual set, like all in costume or something goofy, and then we were like, I don't know. It was chaotic planning everything with COVID. Like you really limited in what you can do. But it was fun seasonally to have something exciting going on for Halloween.
I agree.
I think I've seen everyone like once or twice, but the only time we were all together was, and you can go see this on the Count Your Lucky Stars Facebook page, but we did like an announcement stream in September in Becky's backyard. We played outside for, like 20 minutes or so. And that's all the music we've played together since the start of this thing.
Wow.
It's not fun.
I saw a tweet that just reminded me. I saw a tweet once. It's like, pay attention to who's using gang vocals in their pandemic releases.
True.
Well, anymore you could just, I guess you could just splice together recorded audio or whatever. It wouldn't have the same energy as true gang vocals, but
That's for sure.
Yeah. I do agree with the autumny, wintry vibes. Last semester, I was in just an apartment by myself doing remote work, and that entire Ways of Hearing was on repeat for me. It was great. For each of you, in each of your own expertises, what is a record or a song or an artist or just an idea that really inspired you in what you put into this record?
I'll go first. So my favorite band in the entire world is Saves the Day, and I always think that I'm hiding it somehow whenever I play music, that I want this to not sound like Saves the Day, but it always just comes out. It just it happens. Even when I was sending the record to my friends, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm that good at bass, but I'm really proud of the God's Country bass line for something. And even my friends are like, yeah, I can hear it. This is your this is how you write stuff. But I think back when we recorded this, it was the summer, so I was probably listening to Through Being Cool a lot, which is probably a lot different from everybody else in this band.
It's a good record. I like it. I don't have the same love for Saves the Day that Mike does, but I get it. It's fun. Nobody does.
Aside from that, I listen to a lot of metal and hardcore, which I think is very distinct from everybody else in this band. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. I'm the resident Carissa's weird head.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if that comes through necessarily. It's funny because when I was younger, I was a lot more self-conscious about influences and you don't want to write something that sounds too much like something else. And I've become a lot less precious about that sort of stuff. as I've gotten older, gotten to the point where it's just kind of like, I wish there was a slowcore band playing songs, and there's not really one playing songs that are quite like what I want them to be like. So just, okay, let's just like, can I curse? Can I swear on this radio show?
I can censor it.
All right. So just, what the heck? Might as well, might as well write the songs. Might as well do. I listened to a lot of Chris is Weird, especially a couple of years ago, and was just kind of like, it was, especially the songs on Ugly But Honest were like the ones that I really enjoyed playing on the guitar when I was just, at home playing guitar to occupy time. And then it became kind of like, okay, how can I not write songs that are like this, but like write songs that are deceptively simple, or like write long songs that don't feel like long songs. I think that was like the main thing that I took from being a Chris is Weird fan, not necessarily like other stuff too probably, but yeah.
Becky or Anna?
I can go next. I guess for me, I would say that I'm most influenced by Arthur Russell. I feel like I'm obsessed with him. And I mean, I think, everybody gets influenced by a ton of people, but I consciously think about his music a lot. I think, he was like a genius, and he did like all these genres, and like the way he used his vocals, like, in his disco music is just like so like haunting. I don't think I'm like him, but I think about like the qualities that he has a lot, and he's probably like my most listened to artist. So I definitely like notice the way that it comes through.
I used to say that Goalie songs were kind of like Carissa's Weird songs, but with like a hint of Joan of Arc, and then the Talking Heads song "This Must Be the Place," which I also, I was just thinking about like How Music Works by David Byrne is an excellent book if you've not read it yet. It's a little bit mistitled. It's less like about how music works and more about how David Byrne's like weird head works. But I think that like reading that book sort of relaxed me a little bit about songwriting, allowed me to like write things that were simple, or write things that seemed kind of like, I don't know, odd or weird lyrics or whatever, and just kind of like let it exist. I don't know. Anna hasn't spoken yet. Sorry for stepping in there.
It's okay. It's weird because I don't know, like violin is an orchestral and like classical instrument, and I'm very much a classical musician. So a lot of the stuff that I've done, I guess, especially around the time that I joined Goalie, was like really just influenced by like music theory and like voice leading whenever composing like instrumental parts, because I don't know, I like a lot of music, but I just am an instrumentalist like through and through, so that was really most of it for me. But I guess in terms of artists and like big influences that really influenced my writing and stuff, I guess I would say like Elton John, and just the way that he adds like orchestral music into a lot of his music, because a lot of it's like really big, but it's a lot of just like smooth and additional like background orchestra and stuff. And Ryuichi Sakamoto he's an orchestral and like compositional just stuff. There's like a few, he's mostly a pianist, but he also has some violin music, so he's one of my favorite composers, and I think a lot of his stuff also influences me in my violin playing, like heavily orchestral or violin music. But yeah, those are my two biggest influence, I'd say.
Nice. I got into Ryuichi Sakamoto through the Call Me by Your Name score.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The
it's good
music from that
stuff.
movie is great. He's really awesome. My favorite piece is definitely Rain. It's only piano and violin. It's like my favorite piece, probably almost ever.
We should do one of those for LP too. Just to like let you do one of my I think one of the best things we did on the first record was give a track to our percussionist. I don't even just want to say our drummer because she's like much more than that in a lot of ways. But Winston's theme is by Alyssa, who plays drums in this band, and then also plays all the bells and such that you hear throughout the record. And that song was just like, hey Alyssa, why don't you compose something to serve as a bridge track between side A and side B, and I love it so much, and um, return to it all the time, and like I don't know, we should do a bit more of that for the second one,
What?
Yeah, I think that would be sick.
and you can have a track or two to do whatever you please.
Cool. Thank you.
Love that I'm in on the ground floor of the planning.
Yeah.
Me too. So great. I'm honored. Um, do you guys have any favorite records or films of 2021 so far? We're only 2 months in, but any coming to mind?
I feel like something came out recently that I like, but I can't remember. Um, if anybody else has anything, go for it.
I lose track of time and I forget like when things came into existence, and I'm trying to think of it like linearly, and I'm like, what have the past 2 months brought us? But I see a lot of new things come up. There are a lot of cool things out. I heard there's a rumor there's a band called Camp Trash, but I haven't verified this. I don't know if it's true. So, you might not want to put that on the air in case it's false. But I think they just came out.
I listened to that. That was actually pretty good.
It's good. Yeah. They have a cute shirt too.
I like the new Weezer record, like a lot.
I didn't know they put out a new record.
They're always doing that.
They're so busy.
It's like it feels like a Brian Wilson kind of thing. A lot of strings, and a lot of horns. It's really great.
Ooh, I do love a horn in music.
Nice horn.
Underrated.
Nice horn in a rock song could solve
Yeah.
any person's problems. Did you have any, since it has been a whole year, did you have any favorite albums or films of 2020? Things that made that, I personally believe that the joke of wow, 2020 sucks, right, is so overdone. But what helped you get through last year?
Oh man. Hang on. I actually have my like albums of the year.
Nice.
Mike has a list.
Yeah. I made a list like a while ago. Because like I don't know, every year I try and find like 10 albums that I really liked. And the best album for me last year was Slow Dance by Aesol. She's like a Korean indie artist. She just does a lot of like really chunky synths and whispery, airy vocals. And it comes out sounding a lot like you're sort of chilling in like some kind of cyberpunk city. And that album I listened to just so much last year. It was really good.
It is. It's really good. I gave it a shot.
Check it out.
I think I don't know. I don't have an answer to this, unfortunately. I spent most of last year just doing like watching or listening to old things. So like my favorite TV show of 2020 was probably The Sopranos. My favorite album of 2021 would be at this point Left and Leaving by the Weaker Thans, which is good. I'd never listened to them before this year. It's good, but that's not really.
It's tough. I mean, I feel like not a lot of stuff is coming out. Becky, you got anything?
I just like don't keep up with new information. I'm like so bad at keeping up with, it takes a lot for me to notice when something is out, like in the moment it comes out, I feel like, because I don't know, I'm just like sort of out of the loop with stuff. And this year's just been especially, you know, we all know. So yeah, I wish I had a good answer. I think it's great to keep a list, Mike. That is you are on it, you know, keeping track of that stuff. I should start paying more attention. It's the beginning of a year, so it's the perfect time to start noticing.
Yeah, I'll like post it on Facebook and
You
then
should.
go in my memories like years later and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I liked that. Yeah. So we'll see how well this ages.
I feel that. Yeah.
Anna, you got anything?
Yeah, personally, I guess, I don't know. At the beginning of 2020, or especially for all of quarantine, I was just like living alone, practicing violin a lot. But because I had my last jury for school, so like I was doing lessons and all that. But I watched a bunch of shows. I watched New Girl for like the 5th time, and I listened to Her and All of My Friends by Rip Momney, which came out in 2019, but I listened to that a lot, and Blonde by Frank Ocean, which also came out like a while ago, but I listened to those a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can like truly remember.
I really like that feed. Besides y'all's record, that new Phoebe Bridgers was incredible.
She's a fan favorite. Yeah. The people love Phoebe Bridgers. Yeah.
I think my friend played drums on that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Maybe not. I forget. I forget whether he played.
I'll just believe
it
that your friend did. It's like the same to me. To me, he did. Yeah.
I forget whether he played on it or worked. I don't know. Yeah, cut that out. I don't remember if it's true.
I'm just send lies about. Yeah.
It might have been
our connection.
I don't want to say this, but it might have been a different person of that type, if that makes sense. Might have been a different band that is a girl's name.
And I didn't listen to the new Phoebe Bridgers. I really did like her Connor Oberst collab thing. I think if I was like maybe 10 years younger when it came out, I would probably have a tattoo of it somewhere, but it just things don't hit the same when you get to be. I'm the oldest person in the band, so
how old are you?
I'm 30 now. So
oh wow.
Not significantly older. But, yeah.
And, I would say like entering the legal profession has probably added like 40 years to my life. So I'm true. Like 70.
I'm 21. So
that's a crazy year.
So much time. Yeah, ways of beering, am I right?
The classic gag. Yeah, let's bring that back. We should put that on a shirt.
It's his favorite one.
Yeah.
Y'all should come down to Arkansas because we have Lost 40 Brewing Company. Get ways of beering, get an official beer.
Oh, all right.
Oh my
I
God,
like where you're going with this. That sounds good.
Yeah.
It obviously hasn't happened yet because we didn't even get to plan a tour for LP1, much less like. God, we had so many plans. If you think back to January of 2020, we were gonna put out the record. We were gonna tour in the summer. There was so much that was gonna happen. Any plans that we had for playing shows have been like, East Coast stuff. We did like a weekender in Maryland. We've played in New York, but like I really do want to go your way. Like I'm bringing this band to Omaha, whatever it takes, and I don't know. Arkansas is it's far enough in that direction that it's feasible.
I'm just saying, if y'all come down here, Hendrix College, we're always open to you.
Thank you. We'll remember that.
once all the
Love to.
vaccines start getting places and all that.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the band next besides LP2 or?
That's tough.
I mean, that's the plan at this point is to all just kind of stay safe and keep our health until the summer, and then hopefully start practicing again once some of the, once people are getting vaccinated, once the restrictions are lifting. We need to hit like the practice room to get LP2 kind of fleshed out. We did some demoing over. Well, I did some demoing over winter break, and then Sean and Alyssa have been, I guess, recording some stuff over it that I'm really excited to hear, and then just get together, work those songs out. Hopefully, I mean, like, I almost feel like I'm itching to go back into the studio. It was my first time with Ways of Hearing making like a studio record, and it was so much fun, and I want to do it again sooner rather than later. It's really kind of like, I don't know. It's sad that we didn't get to tour Ways of Hearing really, and maybe there will still be time for that, though. Like, there are obviously more important problems in the world than like not being able to go out and play shows on with the songs from your indie record. So it might end up being like the LP tour is like even after we start writing stuff for the second record. But like, I don't know. I feel good about how like I know that the first record is only like 4 months old to people, but I feel good about the second one. I don't want to hype it too much too soon because it doesn't really exist yet, but
I do want to add, in terms of plans, we've been doing virtual cover shows for fun, just to hang out with each other, and also play music. So we do have another one coming up. I don't remember when it is. Is it next Friday?
Yeah, we're doing March 5th.
March 5th. So it's going to be on Twitch. So that's, just something fun. I think, we're all going to be doing cover songs, and we'll have some other bands and friends in. That's pretty much it in terms of, I wish we could say we're planning a tour for X month or whatever, but there's no reason to plan a tour right now. It would be ridiculous. So but
I mean, like, Sam, when do you think there'll be shows? What's your over under
prediction?
August or September. I have zero faith in the vaccination rollout as is. So
it hasn't been going super well. I read some prediction today that like everyone in Philly should have the opportunity to be vaccinated by like July, which is not the worst thing in the world. I don't necessarily believe it, but if that's what they're saying right now, if that happens, that's fine.
My college right now, the word on the street is my college is trying to vaccinate everyone by April, which I don't believe for a second.
Are you all in person?
We're doing hybrid stuff. I'm living on campus at the moment, in a campus apartment, and one of my classes is all digital. The rest can flip flop.
Okay. I'm teaching college classes remotely at the moment.
I'm so sorry for you. I hate digital classes. I hated it.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but it's better than like spreading COVID throughout North Philadelphia, which is what my employer was planning on doing, I guess.
Terrible.
Oh, man.
In the fall, they had us go back for exactly 1 week. Like they spent the whole summer, like, the faculty union was saying like, hey, if you do this, it's just going to result in college students like, bringing COVID to the city and then spreading it around because they're, human beings, and that's just what happens when you pack a bunch in a small space. And what's your plan for testing, and what's, how are you going to track this stuff? Are you going to do contact tracing, whatever? And the school was just like, yeah, it's fine. And then it turned out that they didn't have a plan or any sort of infrastructure. And after 1 week, a bunch of people got COVID, and they're like, nuts. Who could have predicted this? We got to send everybody home.
We have to find the guy who did this.
The hot dog dude.
Yeah.
I had because I mean, I guess I can't really name, like, I shouldn't name names or do any sort of identifiers, but like I knew of students who ended up having to stay on campus in like the weird ghost town that remained after most people had gone home. They had what was being referred to colloquially as the COVID dorm, which was like, if you tested positive, you just got like shuttered in this like old dorm building and like gotta sit there for 2 weeks. It's like,
What a nightmare.
God. That's terrifying.
The COVID dorm building is actually the one that I lived in freshman year.
No.
It is definitely the worst one on campus. So, but they have communal bathrooms in that building, so that doesn't add up. But anyway,
Very
it's all
cool.
shut down now.
Yeah.
Each room gets a complimentary bucket.
Ugh.
But yeah, we've been remote ever since that first week, and I like, yeah, it's terrible and awful and bad, and like, I'm even like, I think that as soon as we can vaccinate instructors, especially like older people, then like, you know, I'm all for let's get it back in person, but like, we obviously just can't do it until it's safe to do it.
Definitely. I can't even. What will shows look like? I assume we're still going to be wearing masks, somewhat socially distanced.
Yeah, if
Show your
we're
vaccine card.
if we're playing outside in August, it's gonna be like 10 people, 10 feet apart.
Yeah.
No different than a normal goalie show.
Oh no.
Well, I guess that's. I mean, he's joking, but also like, I just thought about that. We haven't done a show since the record came out.
No.
So like, there hasn't been a show where it was like someone came to the show because they heard our record and thought it was good. No one's done that yet.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
Show we played was that one in my backyard, and my like one neighbor was outside, and like two other neighbors like really far away, and they did applaud, which was really nice. So it was like we were
Aw.
playing a show. I know, they were so sweet, but I was like, yeah, just like 3 people.
Yeah.
It felt
That-
really weird to have nobody there, really, like it, because felt like we were playing to an audience, and it was just like, I don't know, I'm not used to it, like the virtual thing.
I gotta say that like applause moment was like, so I was like studying for the bar exam at that point, and that applause moment was like probably like a major uplifting moment in my life.
yeah.
I was
It
like,
was
I felt
really-
so nice.
They asked for an encore. They were like really like wanting us to do an encore. So we did do like a secret song after the stream that wasn't recorded for them. It was really
Yeah, it was
cute.
for
That's
Becky's neighbors.
awesome.
We wwere all a little bit nervous, and we like specifically tried to time things so that Becky's neighbors, like, because I don't know Becky's neighbors. I think you know
I
a
had just
couple of
moved
them.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, oh God, I don't want to play outside in this yard and then just like piss off the entire block.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Um,
families and stuff. So yeah, it all worked out. We were all like bracing for like something terrible, and it was just like really nice and pleasant and fine.
Yeah.
There was like no problems. Like we'd never set up electronics like that outside. It was like a lot of plugs. Like it was like so technically complicated in my opinion. Who doesn't like to do the setup? And yeah, there's just literally no problem. Like usually there's a catch. Probably there was a catch at some point, but it went very well. Thank God. One day we'll do it again.
My final question: who came up with the name? What's up with it? Come on, give up the secrets.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not, I don't know. It's not a secret. The band is named after a a novel by Austrian novelist Peter Hanke. It's called The Goalie's Anxiety at the Penalty Kick. It is quite good. I guess I would describe it as like a more German, more dour version of Albert Camus' The Stranger.
It's possible
except
to get more dour than The Stranger.
It's more dour than The Stranger, yes. The Stranger practically emotes compared to the titular goalkeeper in The Goalie's Anxiety, the penalty kick, which, I mean, I guess it's kind of a spoiler because, I mean, for most of the novel, he has nothing to do with soccer at all, but it is alluded to at one point that he did play soccer at one point and was a goalkeeper. So
Gotcha.
I love soccer, and I read the book originally because it had goalie in its title. I mean, I do, like books of that type more generally, but like, I didn't pick it up because I was looking for an Austrian novel. I picked it up because it said goalie on the cover. And I was reading it when I wrote the songs.
Nice. It's the simple stuff like that.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that seems kind of deep or cryptic is, in the goalie, man, it just is that simple. Like the picture on the album cover is just like my cat. He's on the ground next to me right now. The background for the picture is my grade book, which I had next to me when I scanned the picture.
And don't give it all away.
I'm giving it all away.
I get what you mean, though.
On the radio?
Oh my gosh! Hello.
You want to be on the radio?
Please say something.
He does talk a lot. So I'll just like wait for like a minute.
He doesn't want to be on the radio.
Baby. That's such a cute cat. I do get what you mean, though. I write plays mostly for school, and I named one Headless Horseman after the microphone song. And people were talking in the class like, wow, I really see what you did with the imagery and the symbolism. It's like, I sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
It was on purpose.
It was, actually, that was intentional. Well, thank you all so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And being on here. Where can people find y'all? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Where can people find you?
I think we're at the Goalie Band on most things.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Twitter. Mostly we use Twitter. We have Instagram at the Goalie Band. Thegoalie.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, it's thegoalie.bandcamp.com.
Buy music on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Buy music on Bandcamp.
We have it. There's shirts.
Oh yeah, so our music is available at thegoalie.bandcamp.com. We have shirts available at thegoalie.bigcartel.com, which is also linked to on the Bandcamp. We're at the Goalie Band on Twitter and Instagram. We're the same thing on Facebook, I think. You can email us at thegoalieband@gmail if you got a longer thing you want to say.
Awesome. Probably bad of me to put you on the spot like this, but what song do you want me to play you out with? You can all collectively decide.
I think Closer. It's the classic ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's called Closer. That's, I think I speak for all of us when I say that should be the closeout.
That makes sense. Yeah, do that.
Awesome. Well, Ben, Anna, Becky, Mike, thank you all so much. Everyone go listen to Ways of Hearing, Goalie's Anxiety at the Penalty Kick on Spotify, Apple Music. Buy it on Bandcamp. Thank you guys again.
Thank you. This was fun. Bye.
Hello, this is Sam Gibson, host of Hoth Sweet Hoth. I hope you've enjoyed this episode with Goalie's anxiety at the penalty kick. I will hope that you go to Spotify or Apple Music, preferably something like Bandcamp. Support them directly. If you do stream on Spotify or Apple Music and you like the stuff, go buy a shirt. Support the band. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Next week's episode will be more of a regular episode. I don't have anyone booked for that. But I hope you'll listen then. Remember, 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, 4 o'clock Central Time on Wednesdays. Hoth Sweet Hoth on khdx.fm or khdx 93.1 if you're close to Hendrix campus. Yeah. Thank you again for listening. And thank you to Ben, Anna, Mike, and Becky for setting aside some time to come in and chat. Come in for a little conversation. Yeah, if you or anyone else has an artist that they'd like to be featured, put it on my, either hook them up with me so I don't have to do the work, or send it to me on Twitter, Instagram. Twitter, the @ is not Sam Gibson. On Instagram, its name is TBA. And you can find me on YouTube, and you're probably listening to this on YouTube. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day.